So look, if you want to grow your wealth, your income, and increase the amount of time off, then these are the shortcuts that can help. Welcome to the Wealth Creation Podcast. Good morning, everybody. It's Dan Latto. We are live. It is Friday morning. It is the 8th of February, and I'm off to LA in about 20 minutes. So I'm actually going live slightly earlier than normal. It's 10 to 8 here in the UK, but I'm actually in Spain, going to Barcelona, flying over to LA, and then I'm flying back on Monday. So it's a very short period of time. I'm off to LA for very short, very intense, bit of working, 18-hour days, no doubt. But I love those kind of client working events, if you like, because they're really intense. And you just go in, you just get so much work done in such a short space of time, because you've only got a short space of time, so you better get that stuff done. It's really awesome. So in today's podcast, I want to talk to you about the more you do, the more you get. And I want to talk a little bit about how the stuff in LA comes up and about other stuff that we're having success with as well, that I think it's worth actually talking about a little bit. So in the last couple of months, we've been absolutely pumping out a whole ton of content. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure you're listening to it. If you're listening to it now, this is an example of it. If you're watching it now, this is an example of it. And we're pushing it all out on our website, on YouTube, on iTunes, on social media. I mean, if you look at our social media calendar, I've not got them printed out. If you look at our social media calendar and how many posts are going out every single day, you know, there's people saying, oh, you shouldn't post, don't post more than 3 times a day. It's completely utter rubbish. Try not to swear on this one. It's like I know for a fact that is complete and utter rubbish. Okay, so cause we know this because we've tested it. Okay, so when we used to post 2 or 3 times a day versus posting between 8 and 12 times every single day, it's like the results are here or the results are up here. Which one do you want? Well, I want this one. Right, you better get posting then. It's as simple as that. The more you do, the more you get. The more you send out, the more people know about you, the more stuff you're going to get coming back going, that's amazing, can you do that for me? Or I've seen you on this, or I've seen you on that, that sounds really cool, can you help me with this? The more you do, the more you get. And if you're not pumping out a whole ton of content, then you're not working to the capacity of your potentiality right now, okay? There's an extra step beyond just pumping out content, which is going down the paid route. And what we suggest to people is that actually start off pumping out a ton of content first, find out what works and what doesn't, and then when you know what works, then you can use paid content on the stuff that works. Because if not, you're just doing we know 50% of our advertising doesn't work. The problem is we don't know which 50%. There's no excuse for that now with social media. You know, when we just done month-end reports for last month, and we were looking at clients' most popular posts. Were they images, and what were the images of? Were they videos, and what were they videos of? What are they? So we can actually look at that, and that's really useful data for us to go, okay, now you need to start running Facebook ads on that image because that was your most popular image that got the most engagement. That's where you want to run your Facebook ads. But it has to be this stepping stone. Everybody wants to come in, oh no, I want Facebook ads. I'll spend $2,000 a month on Facebook ads. And then they've spent $2,000 a month, and then at the end of the month, they've got nothing to show for it because they didn't know what worked in the first place. So you've just got to be like it doesn't always work like that, but you've got to be really, really careful. That's my money. Do you know what I mean? Let's just get this down. That's my money. It helps pay for stuff that I want and my lifestyle. Why would I go give it to someone else and waste it? I want to know this stuff works. So that's one of the reasons why when, on the social media stuff, we start off at a low price point to get people in so they can see how it's working and then give them a month-end report. That's why you should sign up, right? So the more you do, the more you get. So this is in the last 24 hours, just so you know what's going on. So we're going to LA. That came about 2 days ago, where the guy says, I need some help. Can you help me? Can you jump on a plane and come over? And I'm like, yeah, of course I can. So we book the flights, we get the Esther, and literally this morning, we cancel the weekend plans, and we're jumping on a plane, and we're going to LA. And that's awesome. Brilliant. I'll be back on Tuesday. I'll catch up with everything else I should have done this weekend. I'll push it on to next weekend. That's great. That came up out of nowhere just this last week. Also 2 days ago, approximately, I got a call from a guy who's after me to speak in front of about 300 people on property. Now, unfortunately, it's in April. I couldn't actually make this event due to family commitment. But the fact that this opportunity came up in front of 300 people is awesome. That's exactly what you want, okay? Now, if we weren't pumping out all this content, the chances are this guy never even heard of me. Like, I actually don't know how he heard of me. One of the problems with pumping out a lot of content and doing a lot of marketing is you don't know where the leads are coming from. I was thinking about this just now. You know, if I sign up with Grant Cardone at NX whatever, like, where did I as a lead come from? I don't even remember how I first came across Grant. Maybe it was his book, probably his book, actually, thinking about it. But if I go on his website and buy, I might have seen an advert of his and then clicked the advert and then bought something. Am I a lead because of the advert, or am I a lead because of a book that I read 5 years ago, 4 years ago, however long it was? Do you see the difference, or do you see the problem with marketing? And people are so busy trying to work out where everybody comes from. Like, that's important to some extent, okay? Because if you're putting money into Facebook ads, you want to know you're getting a return on that. But also, like, you need to just do a lot of marketing. It's like, it doesn't matter ultimately where the client comes from as long as you get bloody clients. So the speaking opportunity came up because we're pumping out so much content, because we talk about property, and, you know, we've been in property for 20 years now. 20 years in property, and it's afforded us the lifestyle where we now get to live in Spain most of the time. And actually, if we bring in some extra client work, that's awesome. But if we don't, it actually doesn't affect our financial stability whatsoever. Right? It's nice to have, but if we don't get it, it's totally cool. But we're only being able to do that because the property we've bought for the last 20 years. That's an interesting story to tell other people, because we're successful in our property investing and we've done the stuff that other people wanted to do, i.e. move to the Mediterranean, live a villa lifestyle, a beach lifestyle, and that's what we do. We're very, very grateful for it. But so our ability to get speaking gigs comes from how much content we can put out. Like, some people might be watching content and not even think, actually, I'm going to get Danny for a gig. They might not even think that, and it's a bit more difficult because I'm overseas. But we did one last weekend where I had to fly into the UK, unfortunately, on some family emergency. And I was going to be doing this, speaking to a room with about 20 people via Zoom. And I was going to do it out on a terrace. It'd be nice and sunny, and I had my whiteboard. Anyway, we had to get up, and I had to go over to England, and it was a mad dash. And I got to Radisson, and we went upstairs, which is normally empty. And I set up my tripod, which is what we're working off now. Oh, which is, we set up one of these, and my mobile phone, and it's like I've got my earpiece in, my Bose, one of my Bose headphones, and then I'm talking to a group of people. So, like, that came about because the guy that runs it came to one of my events, and I've been on his podcast and so on, right? So, but all of this comes from marketing. You know, people don't just wake up and go, oh, I'm going to phone such and such without knowing that they actually exist. So all this opportunity comes from you doing marketing. The more you do, the more you get. Also, woke up this morning, got a nice email. I got a nice email from a client. I got a nice Facebook message from as well last night. So the Facebook message said, let me read the Facebook message for you, because this is awesome, okay? This is just exactly what you want in your marketing and in your business. And it's nice to get messages like this. So let me just find it. So here we go. Where is it? Had an investor who came into the office today, really nice guy, found me by Googling such and such in such and such a place. Show an ID, proof of funds, most likely will be buying the deal very soon, as a very realistic criteria. So it's clearly working. I mean, how awesome is that? That's exactly what you want from clients. Anyway, so this lady, I woke up this morning, got an email from the same lady saying, I've actually got someone who wants to know where I get all my videos and all my images from, and I've recommended you. So that's awesome. That's a new lead that's come in, because the more we do, the more we get. So we're going to LA. We've been offered a speaking gig. We did a speaking gig last weekend, and we've just been recommended to provide some content for another client. That's awesome. So let's just, the last part on this, and this is a quick podcast because we're literally dashing out the door, but I wanted to get one out in terms of a podcast today. So the last item here is that, you know, like yesterday I was looking at, let's just log in and have a quick look. I was looking at podcast stats. And on the podcast stat yesterday was our most popular day ever for podcasts. Like, what does that tell you? That tells us that podcasts are clearly working, where we've got an increasing audience, people who might not be able to turn up for the live events, might not watch them on YouTube, and we'll talk about YouTube in a minute, but they are now watching them on, or listening or downloading them on their mobile device while they're out for a jog, sat on the pot. We know that people do that. Walking the dog, driving the car, because you can listen to a podcast while driving the car. But none of this would have happened unless 3.5 years ago we made a decision to actually do the podcast. Now, I'm just looking at stats. Actually, we're probably going to do, there's no question about it. We're going to have the best month ever this month. Last month, we increased it by 30%. The month before that, we increased by 30%. And this month, I'm just looking at stats here, this month we're probably going to increase it by another 30%. Now, it does help that we're going live every day and we're pushing podcasts out every day because we've got new content. But those people are then listening and then downloading some of the others. We're going through the whole list of podcasts and going, I'll listen to that, listen to that, listen to that. We've got some short ones, we've got some long ones. So just looking at actual stats, the stats is on an upward incline. And this is because the more we do, the more we get. Let's just pull up YouTube stats. I'm always nervous about pulling up YouTube while I'm on a Facebook Live in case it knocks off the Facebook Live. Let me just grab a quick drink while we wait for YouTube. Okay, so let's have a look. I forgot how to swallow my coffee then. And I spat it out. That's because I'm in a rush. It's no good when you're in a rush, is it? Okay, my creator studio. Let's just go and have a look and see what the stats are. Because the amount of subscribers, we're now over 1,000 subscribers. I cannot tell you how difficult it is to get to 1,000 subscribers. It's very, very, very difficult. Let me put it that way. Anyway, we are over 300,000 views on YouTube. That is phenomenal. Over 1,000 subscribers, which is really hard. And then over literally 300,326 views on our YouTube channel. And it's not like some of these others where you see they've got 27,000 views for something really obscure. And you're like, and then you go look at the stats and you go, and it's peaks. And it's like, I wonder what they bought those views for. So these are natural views. So that's amazing. That's truly astounding. It's because the more we do, the more we get. It's as simple as that. And if I've done nothing in this podcast, then drill into you that, you might be working 18-hour days, right? You might be doing all this amazing stuff, but if nobody outside of your circle knows that that's what you're doing, it's irrelevant to some extent. It's irrelevant. Nobody knows that you can solve that problem, or that you can fix this fence, or that you can do this plumbing, or that you can be this coach, unless you're sharing your knowledge and your content and your voice. And people go, well, it's just me. What have I got? Who will listen to me? I look like this, for goodness sake, and I sound like this, and we've still got 300,000 views, and our podcast downloads are shooting skywards. So it doesn't matter what you sound like, what you look like, as long as you've got content that people will find interesting and useful and will help them on their journey to wherever it is that they want to get to. As long as you can help them on that, then they'll download your stuff and will start to watch and listen to you. All right, we better go. It's 9:05 here in Spain. I need to settle for the next couple of minutes. I need to walk the dog first, as you do. But I hope that's useful for you. There's a good chance there won't be a podcast on Monday because I think I'm flying at that time. And then I'm back Tuesday night. Probably not a podcast then, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, if we can go live, we will go live. Other than that, we'll catch up with you next week. My name's Dan Latto. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care. Hey, it's Dan here. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Please click like or subscribe to the entire podcast.